Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On this channel we talk about family, love and lifestyle. Thank you so much to all my returning subscribers, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to share, to like and to subscribe. Thank you so much, and don't forget to hit the notification button too. So last week I attended a program. It's an ongoing program in my church, and it's meant for couples and intending couples. So at that meeting, we were just talking. We were talking about different issues in marriage. We talked about affection. We talked about love languages. We also talked about the 5 or 6 rules that governs the home, the marriage. And it just occurred to me that I have not actually spoken about these rules of life in marriage, because some of these things were things that I discussed with my husband before we got married. But unfortunately, not many people take time to sit with their spouses or their spouses to be, and discuss these things before marriage. And it is affecting a lot of marriages today. So today my discussion is actually for singles, people that are about to get married. If you're about to get married, and it's also good for married couple, because it's never too late to discuss some of these things, but particularly it's for singles out there, and these are issues that I call rules of life, things that you should discuss before getting into the marriage proper. Because whoever you're going to marry, you're going to get married to, is someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And marriage is not a place where you check in and out. It's not a place for that. This is someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. This is someone you're going to raise children with. You're going to build homes with. You're going to bond with this. You're going to, build a future with. So it is important for you to get it right. And I'm not saying that you should be perfect or your spouse should be perfect, because nobody is perfect. But then there are some basic things that you need to discuss. And you might have gone through marriage counseling. You might have heard series of advice from people, from aunties, from uncles, friends, relatives, but these things are the rules of life that governs your marriage. And that is what I want to talk about today. So number one thing to discuss with your spouse before getting married is the number of people or families that wants to or will not be staying with you. You see, a lot of times we assume that all these things will sort themselves out when we are married, but it's usually not like that. It doesn't work like that in most cases, because some people comes from background where they've lived all their life with aunties, uncles, people living with them at home. They grew up knowing aunties and uncles living with them. So they may not see anything bad in getting married and bringing in their cousins, their sisters, their brothers. But you, on the other hand, may not like that. Maybe you actually grew up in a family where it was just you and your parents. So it is important for you to discuss that before marriage, before you get into the marriage proper. If you want people to stay with you in your home, it is very, very important for you to discuss it. And then number two discussion that you should have with your spouse before marriage is this one is funny, is the area of food. I don't know how else to put it, but I'm just going to explain it. You have to ask your spouse, if your spouse is the kind of person that when they are angry, they will not eat your food, or if For example, if your wife is the type that, okay, when she's angry, she's not going to cook, you need to discuss it before marriage so that you will know what you're getting into, so that you will know what you plan to do, how you want to address that. Because there are some people, we all come from different backgrounds, different families, where people, there are some families where if the father is angry, he will not eat. Some men will not eat for like 2-3 weeks. And, that's it. So it's important for you to have that discussion before marriage. Because these are things that they are not loud, but they are things that causes issues in relationship. Ask your wife, ask your husband, if, okay, when you're angry, are you going to eat? Are you the type of person that will not like, or you will lose your appetite, or you're angry, okay, you're not going to eat at home because you're angry? You need to ask. And then number 3 discussion that you need to have is the issue of the living condition, the issue of sleeping in separate rooms. You see, it's funny, but it is the reality. Some people grew up with parents that never slept together. Some people, the only time they see their mother coming out of their father's room is maybe once or twice, or once in 2 months, twice in a year or so. So they are not used to seeing couples sleeping together in the same room. So someone like that might have issue, may not really see anything bad in it. Or some people don't like other people in their space. They just want to be alone. And if such a person gets married to you, that you love the lovey-dovey, you want to be around your husband, you want to be around your wife, there's going to be a problem. So it is better for you people to discuss it before marriage. These are things that need to be discussed. It should not be left alone. Don't think, all these things will sort themselves out when you get married. Please, it is important. They are discussions that you must have. Singles, I am begging you. These are things that causes issues in marriages, and they are little things. They are not loud, but yet they are important. Number 4 is the issue of fitness. You need to ask your spouse, women especially, talk to your husband, because by the time you start having babies, baby number 1, baby number 2, and you start to add weight, some men will say, okay, I can't deal with a woman that is getting fatter and fatter every day, or getting bigger. So you need to agree, so that you will know that, okay, after giving birth to your child, the next thing is for you to eat the gym. Ask your spouse. Men, ask your wife if your wife will still love you after growing a bit of the pot belly. You need to ask. You need to understand what you are trying to do when it gets to the issue of building a family together. Because these are things that that they don't look serious. They don't appear serious, but they are things that separate spouses. These are things that make people to grow apart. And it's important for you to discuss them. Like I said, you might have gone through marriage counseling, but then it's never too much to talk about these things. And then the 5th one is the issue of sex. You need to discuss the issue of sex. You see, sex in marriage is very important. It is a way for you to bond with your spouse. It is very, very important. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that, no, sex is nothing. Sex is important. So you have to discuss your sexual life. You have to ask your wife, and these are 2 questions that I think it's important. Ask if your husband or your wife is the type that use sex as a weapon of warfare. Because some men are like that. Once they are angry, no, they don't touch their wife. Once they are hungry, some women, once they're hungry, they don't allow their husband to touch them. So it is important for you to discuss it. That, okay, when we get married, are you the type that when you are hungry, I cannot touch you, so I cannot perform my conjugal duties? Please, it is important. These are questions that are important to ask. And then another question in terms of sex is, in a situation where some people, I've heard someone said it, that once a woman, after going, one time, that a woman is expected to be satisfied. A woman that is not satisfied after one time is something else. Please discuss it. That, okay, peradventure, we get married and we do this thing and I'm not satisfied. What is your take? What do you think of a woman asking for more when it comes to conjugal duties? These things are important. I call these things the 6 rules of life in our marriages. And then the last one is for you people to agree that there is not going to be divorce. You see, the moment you have an exit plan before getting married, I've said it before in my last video, you will use it. So the best is not to have an exit plan. Both of you should agree that there won't be room for divorce. And if you agree, you know what that does is it will help you to work on your marriage. You will do everything possible to make sure that your marriage works. If you agree before marriage. And those are the things that I said I should come and discuss with you. These are the 6 rules of life in your marriage. Singles out there, make sure you have this discussion with your spouse before getting married. It is important so that you will be prepared. You will know what you're signing for. And I pray, as always, that God will protect the sanity and the sanctity of our marriages. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.